Hey guys, what's up? This is Chris, and welcome to a game that I thought I'd try today called the Stanley Parable. This is a mod for Half-Life 2 that I saw one of my favorite channels, the Yogscast, starting to play, and before you say, oh, well, it's not fair, you watch them play it. Actually, no, I didn't. I got smart on this one. When they started playing it, I immediately said, you know what, this looks like a really fun game, and I don't want to spoil the ending, so I saved that video for later, and I'm going to watch it after I play to see how they did it. But basically, I'm going to try this a couple times. This is basically a game in which you are Stanley, and the narrator is really funny, and that's about as far as I got. So, here we go. Now, I don't know at all how the audio is going to be. I turned down the game audio, and hopefully my mic audio is good. I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. Hopefully it's bearable. So, we're going to click New Game. Start new game. Here we go. Let's see how it goes.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor next to his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Simple
This
enough.
is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Uh-oh.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on a monitor for him to follow.
Not one.
No one had showed up to give him instructions.
Not one
call a
person.
meeting, or even say hi.
Not even to say hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and walked out into the hallway.
Oh, okay. We have control. Alright. Press E to interact with stuff. Is that a mirror or another room? That's another room because that notepad or that sticky note is not over there. Okay, whatever. Into the hallway.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
So these are other workers. 425, 424. Nobody in there.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh god. Well, here's the ultimate question. Do we listen to the narrator or do we see what happens if we don't? You know what? I have to.
This was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction.
Alright. Okay, that looks cool over there, but I'm gonna have to go this way.
And like that, he was back on track.
Sweet. Cool. Oh.
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
Give me a Mountain Dew. Okay, we're gonna go find the boss. Guess we're going to his office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, let's keep going along with this.
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this point that he began to feel dizzy and a little sick, and even thought he might pass out when suddenly he noticed a keypad next to the filing cabinet in the corner of his boss's office. Stanley had never seen this panel before and had no idea what combination of numbers would produce any result. In fact, only Stanley's boss knew this, since the panel withheld access to the boss's greatest, darkest secret, and so he had assigned the keypad a combination that only he could possibly know: the number of his freshman dorm number in college, 1957. But of course, Stanley, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Amazing.
Stanley ventured forth into the newly opened
Sweet.
passageway.
I don't like that I can't jump, but still, it's okay.
As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long room to find rows and rows of monitors, screens with a number above it. Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth of the situation. An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions: happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions: walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV. Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being. And the reality began to sink in. Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's control, always at the mercy of this machine. Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it blindly? He began to feel an unbridled rage, and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine, keeping it alive. And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder at the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters. The higher Stanley climbed, the closer he felt to freedom, the further from enslavement. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After it kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control? Stanley. Stanley. I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were meant to let it go, turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do better than that.
This is awesome.
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you have. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized that he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Oh, let's make it say, 2 minutes. Now, This is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
This is
Go
awesome.
ahead. Play with those controls all you like. The real controls are where I'm sitting. Did you really ever believe you held any power? Did you not think I knew what I
Nope.
was doing? When I erased your co-workers and turned off the machine, I was offering you freedom, an escape.
This guy's awful.
I didn't have to do that. I've run this story many times, and I don't always set you free. Sometimes you just sit there, day after day after day, doing your job forever, and then dying alone. But when I actually give you the freedom to control your own actions, it's not enough. I let you go, and you trapped yourself just the same. You just weren't made to handle this sort of responsibility, I'm afraid. But you know what you were made for? Pushing buttons. You get it now?
No.
Oh, I'm enjoying this. Tell you what, I'll throw some extra time on the clock just because I'm having so much fun. There we go. You see, I want to watch you for every long second you try to puzzle this out. After all, it should make sense, right? The timer, the nuclear detonation, the mysterious facility, it's all here. This is a video game. Except for one thing there, hero. You've got no weapon, no vehicle. You don't even know where you're going. When you saw that timer, you just instinctively started trying to find an exit, didn't you? In fact, I bet you're still looking for a way out. I bet you're clicking on everything in this room, trying to open doors or vents or something and solve the puzzle. As though this game has a solution, as though it can be won. That timer is not a catalyst to keep things moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. It's the moment when the hero realizes that despite his best efforts,
Come on.
he is powerless to his
now that I know what to do.
And then he lets go. He surrenders. And he dies. 30 seconds, Stanley. 30 seconds. Until a boom. And then
Nothing?
no ending to this story, just you dying. I suppose you could have gotten an actual ending if you played along, but that just wouldn't have been your style, would it? Instead, you'll perish knowing that the only choice you made here was to turn on that machine and to start this timer. But
I
you
don't
won't
know
be
what to
alone,
do.
because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here to watch every second of your inevitable life from the time we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Well, I guess that's it. Wow. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's the Stanley Parable. So, since I really didn't get to the ending, if you want to stop the video here and go see if you can do it for yourself, then go ahead and do so. And I think I'm gonna just disobey everything on this last run really quickly, and we'll see what happens. So if you don't want to see what happens in, I guess, the actual ending, if I can get there,
Stanley
then
decided to go to the staff
quit now.
lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Maybe this is why everyone had left. No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as him. And since he was walking into the middle of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself.
What?
So when he came to the elevator and the doors opened,
that's cool.
he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Well, I'm gonna push the button to go down. Jerk. Did I do it?
Oh, Stanley. You know, you really aren't going anywhere, and I don't say that deceitfully. I truthfully mean that there isn't a story down here. The story was back up where I told you to go in the first place. Right now, you're just running around looking at empty halls. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you throw me a bone? Give me a chance and just let me tell the story I want to tell,
Nope. There's got to be something down here. I mean, he's got to know, the creator's got to know that someone...
Now listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Fuck you.
Aha. Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Awesome. That was awesome.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? It's nothing. No one's even built this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. It's just a bunch of skybox and dev wall textures. That's it. Is this what you were looking for? Was it worth ruining the story I'd written out for you? I put a lot of time into that, and now well, here you are now, just looking at nothing. To think that that's all I needed to make in the first place, just a whole lot of nothing, and you would have been happy. Well, hey, you still need a little something to do. Am I right? Here, let me load up another map. See if there's something in here that'll keep you occupied. Ah, here's one. Let's boot this up. We'll see if you like it.
Oh no, did it just restart the game for me? Was that the ending? Whoa. Okay.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? I don't know why it would be. This map wasn't even made for you. At least I created a world specifically with you in mind. I wanted to make you a leading man. This one, well, I'm afraid you're on your own there.
What? Crap. Oh, what? Can I actually go anywhere, or? Oh. Mountain Dew. Oh, Mountain Dew. There we go. Glug, 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 glug. Yep.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got his job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Oh my
that,
god.
Or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and pickles.
I love this. This guy's awesome. Oh, security.
Oh. Hold up, Westport.
No.
I spent so long talking about you. Why don't we just take a break from that and talk about something else for a change? Let's see. Well, according to Wikipedia, more than 90% of the night sharks caught off northeastern Brazil contain mercury concentrations higher than that considered safe by the local government. Now, this is fascinating. Don't you want to know more about the night sharks? Oh, no, of course not. All you want to hear about is yourself, isn't it? Well, fine. You haven't listened to me once so far. I can't expect you to turn that around now, can I?
Nope. Oh, nope. Here.
Is this the end of the line? I don't suppose this was a particularly fulfilling experience for you, considering not a single art aspect in this map was created with you in mind. But hey, you're a creative kid. I bet you can come up with a story about this place and why you're in it. And while you're doing that, why don't you think up an ending too? Because you certainly won't find one here. I'm afraid that's the long and short of it. This room and these walls are all you get. Maybe the story ends when you decide you can't live in this futuristic science fiction dystopia world, and you gallantly commit suicide. Or maybe you stand in this spot for all of eternity to guide and greet other travelers like yourself who pass this way. Or maybe you just get bored and you quit the game. Heck, anything's an ending if that's where you stop playing. But whatever ending you write for yourself, Stanley, you won't have my help. You turned your back on me, and now I do the same to you. So, good luck. I think you'll need it. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after. Wait,
Oh my god.
hold on. What are you doing?
What? Oh. Oh.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't
Awesome. I'm
write
walking.
a story without me. You can't do it. You know that.
What? This is so cool. What? 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 I'm back here? Why am I back here? Okay. All right. Is the elevator still gonna come up? Maybe I should go the other way. This is weird and also very scary. What if Slender Man popped up? I would probably die of a fatal heart attack, fear-induced heart attack. Okay, this door's open. Whoa.
It's sad, I know, but all stories must come to an end. Of course, they say it's the journey that truly matters and not the destination, and I like that idea. To think we might value the paths we walk as much as the places they lead us. Now, I don't know what sort of story you've ciphered out of that world you've made for yourself, but I hope that being the leading man was everything it's cracked up to be. I know it can be a little hard getting around without someone looking over your shoulder, but this is simply the nature of freedom. Besides, I haven't really gone anywhere. Maybe you don't want a guide, but I think I'll always have a place here at the end of every story. I'll step in and wrap things up with a nice piece of dialogue and a reflection on life that makes sense of whatever path you've chosen to walk. And for now, I'm happy to be the destination instead of the journey. But only for now.
Wow. Oh, okay. I think I beat the game. That must have been it. I must have beaten the game. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Stanley Parable. I guess I beat the game. So yeah. Now I'm gonna have my friends play this, and yeah, I might record it. I don't know. Might not be interesting if they play it. I don't know. Or it could be cool to see which paths they take. But yeah, why don't you check it out for yourself. This is free, by the way. All you have to do is find and download the Source SDK, and then download Stanley Parable. Just Google it. It's pretty easy. I got it for free. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.